Hello, we are Group 17, and our program is called Hope for Home. We will enhance the health status of the homeless population in downtown San Diego and Los Angeles. We will work on reducing homelessness by providing a variety of services, focusing primarily on mental health and substance abuse to improve their quality of life. Our 2 clinics will provide 4 workshops. In these workshops, there will include basic physical health care services, counseling sessions, support groups for addiction and mental health, job training, and placement services. We will make the public aware of our available clinics by handing out informative flyers in the cities of Los Angeles and San Diego. Our goals are to improve mental health within our target homeless population, to reduce incidents of alcoholism and substance abuse, increase homeless viability to enter the workforce, reduce the amount of emergency room dependence by homeless individuals, and for the success of our overall program by having our participants complete each of the 4 workshops. Our 3 main objectives are: 1. By the year 2020, 40% of the target homeless populations will be using services offered at each clinic. 2. By the year 2020, homeless individuals in clinics will show 30% less substance abuse and dependence compared to those in other cities. And 3. At the completion of each workshop, homeless participants will report 15% less barriers in receiving help physically and mentally in efforts to improving overall well-being. As far as our evaluation questions, our first is there a difference in the knowledge of potential benefits between the individuals in the experimental and comparison groups after the intervention? 2. Is there a difference in substance abuse dependency between the experimental and comparison groups after the intervention? 3. Does the completion of the workshops offered in the experimental or control groups affect an individual's utilization of healthcare services? Our null would be that there is a difference in substance abuse dependency between the experimental and comparison group after the program, and our alternative is there is no difference of substance abuse dependency between the experiment and comparison group after the program. Our intervention program uses the health belief model to promote behavior change. Through this model, we will increase perceived awareness of their current health status and poor living conditions and create positive expectations that our clinics and services will be effectively addressing their health issues. It will also cause the belief that they are capable of change. Perceived barriers we plan on encountering are that homeless populations often do not believe they have access to healthcare services, and their mental health may get in the way of wanting something better or believing they are capable of achieving positive health outcomes. Outcomes for our intervention programs at our 2 clinics will be measured subjectively through observation and surveys, which will be recorded before any workshops have taken place, as well as after the first, second, and third workshop, and then after the completion of our entire program. All 80 patients will complete our 4 workshops at Los Angeles and San Diego for a total of 160 in the 2 cities. We expect the results of Los Angeles clinic to differ from those at the San Diego clinic, since the 80 patients there will be required to remain at our clinic until the completion of our 4-month-long program, with each workshop being 1 month long. The workshops at this location will be more aggressive as well. Our San Diego clinic will be outpatient, as homeless individuals participating will not need to stay for the duration and can come and go as they please. With Los Angeles being a more intense treatment program, we expect that we will have better results than with our comparison group, which is the San Diego outpatient clinic. Our experimental design is quasi-experimental in that we have one experimental group of 80 inpatient participants, and then we have a comparison group of 80 outpatient participants in San Diego. Our timeline shows when we will record results from our observation and survey.
Each workshop is a month long, and we will evaluate the condition of our participants in both groups at the end of each month. The purpose is to determine how many participants complete each workshop in order to move on to the next one. We will also conduct our observation surveys at these times to further assess the progress. After a course of 4 months, this progression will tell us whether an inpatient, more rigorous treatment program or outpatient care is best for our target population. Our main outcome is whether or not the homeless populations in San Diego and Los Angeles assessed our clinic and completed each stage of our programs. With a survey, we will determine how many of the offered programs participants completed. The answer to this question will be a ratio response. Our sampling procedure is random, non-probability, and based on convenience, indicating that all individuals in our survey population are made out of people who are easy to reach and do not have an equal chance of being selected. The criterion for a program is that a person is homeless in either downtown San Diego or downtown Los Angeles, which is where our 2 clinics will be located. Our chosen measurement instrument is questionnaire survey, and these will be administered verbally or on paper. Our independent variable is which city the homeless resides in, which is a nominal response. Our categorical dependent variables consist of knowledge of benefits, which is nominal, substance dependency, which is ordinal, and healthcare utilization, which is a ratio response. As for our bivariate data analysis, oh crap, I messed up, sorry.
It's fine.
As for our bivariate data analysis, we beg the question, is there a difference between the experimental and control groups after the Hope for Home program completion? Subjects to be considered when answering this are knowledge of benefits of programs like Hope for Home, substance dependency, and healthcare service utilization. The effectiveness of each measurement is determined by whether we accept or reject the null hypothesis. For both variables, including knowledge of benefits of Hope for Home and substance dependency, we use a chi-square test in order to analyze our data. The outcome is that the null hypothesis is rejected due to a statistical significance between the 2 groups. As for determining utilization of healthcare services, we use a dependent t-test of significance, which can be used to test the null hypothesis that there is a difference between the experimental and comparison groups. In this case, the null hypothesis is rejected due to statistical significance noted between them. Our findings show that our intervention was a success. Our intervention program groups demonstrated a higher utilization of health services, a lower substance abuse dependency, and an increase in job attainment in both the experimental and the comparison groups. In the graph on the right, our results also demonstrate that our experimental inpatient group being treated in Los Angeles had a much higher utilization of health services, lower substance abuse dependency, and a greater increase in job attainment than the comparison outpatient group. Limitations we encountered were a rate of dropouts, lack of motivation, and issues with convenient sampling. In addition, family history played a role in internal validity, whilst the follow-up created difficulties in our time series design, and there was potential contamination between our San Diego and Los Angeles homeless populations. This concludes our presentation.
Go Hope for Home!